Hey guys, welcome to Pharma Palette. Today in this video, with the help of a simple diagram, let's try to know the process of muscle contraction and relaxation in detail. So without any further delay, let's get into the video. So here, this one, we will be calling it as the nerve action potential. This orange colored part, we will be calling it as the acetylcholine. And here we have acetylcholine receptors. So these are acetylcholine receptors. And here we will be having acetylcholine esterase. So here this is called as nerve action potential. This orange colored one is acetylcholine and these parts are called as acetylcholine receptors and this one is acetylcholine esterase. So let me tell you clearly step by step. Okay. First thing is this part we will be calling it as nerve action potential. And this orange colored part is acetylcholine. And these are acetylcholine receptors. And here we also have the acetylcholine esterase. So these are the parts of this. So here, first point is so whenever there is nerve action potential, that will be triggering the release of acetylcholine. So when there is nerve action potential, there will be acetylcholine release. So once the acetylcholine is released, it will be coming and binding to the acetylcholine receptor. So after this binding will lead to the triggering of muscle action potential. Because this ACH is coming and binding here, there will be muscle action potential triggered. Then the third point is here there is acetylcholinesterase. So its work is to oppose the ACH. So this acetylcholinesterase will be destroying the acetylcholine which is released. So because this ACHE will be destroying acetylcholine, another muscle action potential does not occur unless more ACH is released. That means only if there is increased ACH release, this acetylcholinesterase will be destroying it. Coming to the fourth point. So, a muscle action potential is traveling along the tubule. So, these are the calcium channels. Because of this muscle action potential, this will be opened. Once the channel get opened, there will be calcium release. There will be calcium release. So whatever calcium is there, that will be going outside. So the fourth point is because of this muscle action potential, that will be triggering the opening of the voltage gated channels. Once this calcium channels get opened, they will be releasing the calcium outside. So this released calcium, so these are the released calcium ions. They will be coming and binding to the troponin on the thin filament, exposing the myosin binding sites on actin. So this calcium will bind to troponin and that is present on the thin filament. So this is the thin filament that will be exposing myosin binding sites that are present on actin molecules. So that is the fifth point. So calcium binds to the troponin on the thin filament that exposes the myosin binding sites on actin. So sixth part is whenever there is calcium, there will be contraction. So how does the contraction occur? Simply the myosin head will be binding to the actin molecule. So this undergoes the power strokes that causes its release. Then the thin filaments will be pulled together to center, thereby contraction occurs. Let me just repeat you all the points once again clearly. First point is a nerve action potential in the motor neuron will be triggering the release of acetylcholine. Second point is the acetylcholine will be binding to the acetylcholine receptor, which triggers the muscle action potential. Third point is the acetylcholinesterase will be destroying the acetylcholine. So next muscle action potential do not arise until more ACH is released. Then the fourth point is as the muscle action potential travels along the process, this will be triggering the calcium channels. It triggers the voltage gated calcium channels, which causes the opening of these channels, thereby the entire calcium gets released. Once the calcium starts to release, these calcium will be binding to the troponin, and that is present on the thin filament that causes the myosin binding site on actin. So that will be exposing the myosin binding sites on actin. So this elevated calcium leads to the contraction. How does the contraction occur? Simply the myosin head will bind to actin, thereby there will be certain power strokes that releases it. Then these thin filaments will be pulled together towards center, thereby leading to the process of contraction. After contraction, there will be relaxation. So what happens in the relaxation part? Just three simple points. So the calcium is completed for contraction. So this calcium has to be restored. So that's why it will be using ATP to restore the calcium. So thereby, once after restoring the calcium, so there will be tropomyosin. This tropomyosin will be slides back into its original position. Thereby, it blocks the myosin binding site on the actin, finally leads to the muscle relaxation. So that is all about the complete muscle contraction and relaxation. So if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to Pharma Palette for more such simple explanations.